Doop-a-dee-doop-dee-doop. Oh, what is that? Is that a PB4Y trying to attack me the way that I attack usually other bombers? That's not gonna end well for you, mate. You're too slow. Oh well, at least he tried as an allied player. Hello there, and welcome back to War Thunder. So today, the Ju-288C is again worth having a look at, because it recently got nerfed, and I received because of this a lot of angry messages in the YouTube comment section, on Discord, in-game, even with emails. And people wanted their money back, people were really angry about this plane getting nerfed, and it has to do with this reduced speed warning. By the way, the IAS was not even redlining, so again, very nicely done, Gaijin. And I saw this coming. The very first video that I made on this plane was called Before the Nerf. That was literally the title. The title of this video will be Nerfed, yes. Useless, no. And that is just a summary of what this plane is. It is still, in my opinion, one of the very best bombers that there is in the game, period, at its respective battle rating. And about this statement, there is nothing that you can change my mind on, because it still is, and it shall be demonstrated in this battle. So, what has been nerfed, really? It is the top speed, and the top speed was well in excess of 750 kilometers per hour, which is absurdly fast for a medium bomber, especially at this battle rating. Remember, battle rating 5.3, that is the same battle rating as the first B-17. Yes. And this plane is just ludicrously fast. And depending on the exact altitude, you still can reach well in excess of 600 kilometers per hour to 650 before there is even a redlining. Just keep that in mind. This B-25 wanted to intercept me, but he's just not fast enough. And I could, duel him and gun him down, but I want to use this plane for making some easy silver lines. And this is what people want to use this for. Here in RRB it pays off, but you also can use this plane in Tank RB. So it still has the very good 1800 kilogram Satan bombs, where usually one of them is enough to destroy a bombing point. But here on this iteration on the Ruhr map, you actually need two bombs. And yes, I just I just dove through my own bomb, wrecking my own right engine. No, the left engine. So yeah, that was my fault. But this fighter is not making it all that difficult either, and I just make him go away with an explosion. And that's not all, because also P-47 is coming in. I made some mistakes. I did not dive completely optimally. I did not drop both bombs as necessary, and yeah, well, I wrecked my own engine. So this was played poorly, and yet I get away with, because also the enemy fighters are just not hitting anything. I don't know how this is possible with a P-47, because when I play a P-47, I have not that many difficulties when I catch a Ju-288 to actually destroy it. And this is now the first scene. Many more ludicrous scenes will come in. So, this is the usual cycle of things within War Thunder. When a new premium vehicle, be it a tank, plane or ship, gets released, it is fresh, it's new, it's exciting, it is overperforming, not officially, but when you really play it, it's always easy to use, you get really great results, and all that for paying a quick $50. So that's just how Gaijin does it. After a while, after the initial sales are over, Gaijin then nerfs it back to a reasonable status after an outcry of the community that this thing just ruins everything. But Gaijin doesn't shy back from repeating this over and over again. We have seen it with the German Z20, we have seen it with the IS-6, we have seen it with the T-29. It goes through all the nations, and it just varies from patch to patch which nation gets favored to frustrate the other nation that then has a counter the other patch. It's just what Gaijin does, and still they couldn't really kill this plane. much to my pleasure because I'm an absolute bomber fan and I play bombers a little bit differently. I play them offensively, I play them to their maximum strength. I usually try crazy stuff. When I get away with it, it's crazy. If not, well, at least I had some quick fun and I tried. So I'm not one of those guys that just flies in a straight line and has no idea what he's doing. And so I attack here the first B-17, I set him on fire, the fire is extinguished. The second B-17 also gets a critical hit and gets set on fire on 2 different places. And yeah, soon afterwards I get a kill assist on it because, you know, for a Do 335 it's too difficult to kill his own B-17. Now the first B-17 has turned away. I now made a loop and I still do this with the full bomb load, and I'm so fast still with this great engine power that I zoom climb an enemy heavy bomber that has the same battle rating as me. Just saying. And people say this plane is useless. People say this plane is bad and they want their money back just because the top speed was a bit reduced. Just get good, boys. I mean, this sounds extremely arrogant, but this plane has performance and just overall statistics and just reliable impact on the game, and is very reliable in making you silver lines, and you can pull off extremely crazy stuff. It's maneuverable, fast, air brakes, 20mm bombs, powerful engines, everything. That I don't know where criticism comes from. And I got a lot of messages. A lot of people confuse me with being a wearable because when I complain as a German about certain German vehicles at certain specific battle ratings, having a problem with, you know, Germany suffers and so. No, that's not true. That's not true. The entire German tech tree is not bad. It has some of the best tanks, planes and ships that there are. But certain more iconic tanks, planes and ships just have their issues, and nobody seems to bother when I talk about some British or American or Japanese or Italian or French ships, tanks and planes that have their problems. But when I do it about a German, I'm a wearable. Now, am I here a wearable because I think that this is still one of the greatest bombers that there is? I don't know what the community sometimes is up to. I'm the wrong guy to complain about the Ju-288 being nerfed, being bad. It is super easy to use. It fits the meta. It's fast. It is maneuverable. It has a lot of good things going for it. And I get that not everybody feels comfortable intercepting a B-17 with a medium bomber. I don't ask anybody else to do this. But that it is possible on a reliable basis at all with this plane in that fashion so easily just is absolutely fantastic. And you know, you still then can turn around and just simply do the bombing stuff. So let's just quickly talk about some other bombers at this battle rating bracket, and let's begin with the Americans. The poor old B-17 is power creep to hell. It just doesn't have the same bomb load. It doesn't have the same defensive capabilities, although 50 cals are good. But it's so slow, it cannot really descend that fast and it cannot really climb back to altitude as quickly. Then the Soviets, well, I have to say that the Tu-2s are really fun, but they just don't have the same capabilities, both in defensive capabilities and also in bombing capabilities. And the British, with their Sterling B Mark III, 7.7 defensive gunners, that's just not that effective. And the same goes with the Japanese with the G5N1, which is the Japanese plane with the heaviest bomb load. It also has some 20mm defensive gunners, but it just doesn't work out with this plane, although I love it. And the same goes with the Italians. Well, the Italians, they don't even have a heavy bomber that goes above 3.7 or a medium bomber. And the same goes with France. The best that they can offer is the PB4Y2, and I don't like that plane particularly nicely. So, just talking about this, Other nations' bombers at this battle rating don't have the bomb load that fits the meta. They don't have this diving speed, and if they have it, they don't have air brakes to make the nice landing, to adjust the speed, etc. They are not as maneuverable, and they don't have the same powerful engines. They just can't measure themselves with this thing. The only other plane that I would be afraid to go up against in this plane, in terms of fighting other bombers, would be the other German bomber, that is the Heinkel 177. And you know, that has the bad luck of being a tech tree plane. So the repair costs are there with 41,000 silver lines. By the way, I dueled here this P-47D, saved my heavy fighter, and that was the last enemy alive in this match, so I won the match with that. Just to put things into perspective, this plane is fantastic. It's not just the initial rush, just to bomb here the bombing points, but you can go back to the airfield, land easily, and take off again in time to influence the battle once more, to finish off the base, to just bomb the last bombing targets or whatever, and to just also help out your team as a distraction. This can decide matches. All other nation bombers just can't do this. And then there is the amount of modification research and vehicle research points and overall silver lines that is really that great. And so you can do it reliable. This is still one of the best planes that there is. To then come running towards me and say this is bad and Gaijin has nerfed it into the ground. Well, I want to demonstrate this with this battle right from the start. So I spawned and I'm not really sure what I should do. Should I go directly for the bombing points? How many other bombers are there? What is there to do? Can I make it to the bombing point before enemy fighters arrive? And trust me, the allied teams, or in general, the Americans and the British and the Russians, they have great interceptors, and they can, in theory, intercept this plane if you fly it not correctly. But if you do, you can dodge them, you can avoid them, you can make it to the bombing point and bomb one or even two before they can intercept you. Then you can turn around in time and just dodge and weave and just try to gun them down effectively. And they have to fear your 20mm because it shoots not just any ammunition, but Minengeschosse. They are highly effective in this patch. In theory, I can expect this plane to be nerfed more, and the flight model and the damage model getting really fucked over, the 20mm making no damage, etc, etc. I can expect many of those nerfs, or you know, it's possible, but I don't think that this is very likely. There is an F-82, and just watch. I observe him, and now he turns in and he wants to gun me down because he has up to 1450 cals, and I just avoid him. I don't fly in a straight line. And how many bombers can really escape an F-82? Let's do this, you know. I dropped now all my 2 bombs and I destroyed 2 of the bases, and I just run away. I just run away from the F-82, which is one hell of a fast interceptor. If I would be in any other bomber of, let's say, the Americans, the British, you know, all the other non-German nations, at this particular battle rating, I'd be dead. I would not have possibly made it to the bombing point in the first place. And now I'm diving away, still with over 600 kilometers per hour. If anybody is here now stating that this plane is overpowered, I see your point. It is not really that this plane alone, single-handedly, could destroy everything, but it's just as a single unit so powerful. So I got attacked here by a Wyvern, and now I have to orientate myself a little bit. There we go. Just level out, defensive gunners, and he tries his luck. Mate, that's not gonna work out for you. And so we dodge and weave, and he's just burning down. I took minimal damage, and this guy is just there left to die. Even a mighty Wyvern, super prop mind you, cannot really, or turbo prop, can really catch me. They cannot really do anything. It has to do that this is not quite the same disaster that the R2Y2s are with their air spawn, which in the future gets removed. but if you know what you're doing, you're still so powerful. In this match alone, I now bombed the other bombing point, and this is the last enemy player in a Wyvern. And look at this, I'm catching him. I'm catching him. I came out of a slight dive, not really that drastic, and I'm catching him. And now I can threaten him with the front gunners. Yes, this plane could be even more powerful if it would have frontally mounted armament, but that would just completely ruin its performance. And now I turn a little bit away because I don't want to get bombed, because I don't want to become my own meme. The auto gunners are hitting him, and then he suicides. And that's another nice kill for me. That was the last enemy player, so we won the match. Hopefully I could now demonstrate how to get the maximum out of this plane's performance. I hopefully could demonstrate that the nerf that Gaijin did to this plane was just more of a readjustment rather than really a crippling blow to the face. No, this plane still is fantastic. I love it to bits, and I will grind happily some Silver Lines with this plane. So yeah, let's have a quick look at the results and let's just see how it goes. And there we are. Yep, 109,000 Silver Lines and nearly 18,000 verification research points without researching anything actually. That's it for me today, so thanks for watching, thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed the compilation and the commentary. If so, why not give it a like, subscribe if you want to see more, and we'll see each other on the battlefields, on the waves, and in the skies of War Thunder.